Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build the model kit, and I'm here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk, and that's also okay. It is a Monday. Sorry, pardon me for just a second. My allergies are whooping my butt. It is a Monday. And it means that we're building a model kit, working on the Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics. The only build from Witch from Mercury that I haven't worked on yet is the Full Mechanics, the 1/100 scale. Aristovan is here. Hello, Aristovan. They don't make a lot of master grades and non-grade 1/100 scale kits these days. I build a lot of stuff in the 144 scale, so it is nice to get into the 1/100. That are not just like, reprints of old kits with a couple new pieces. This is from the ground up, a new kit. Obviously, they made plenty of the high grade version. This is the full mechanics. There was some master grade. But I'm actually a little surprised. We haven't gotten yet master grades like the Elfrith. I thought the Elfrith master grade would come, or the Caliburn would come. I definitely imagined more master grades, and I think those will trickle out because we don't know when the next for real mainline Gundam series will be. That Gundam Build Metaverse came out, but that was more of a celebration of Gundam Build, so in the Build Fighters and Divers and the like, so that wasn't like a true sequel. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see a return to form with like a plethora of kits coming out in a year. Sunrise will have other stuff, so Bandai will put out other things. But I'm talking about like mainline Gundam. If we do get more master grades, I think they will trickle out. We won't see them every once in a while. I think the high grade seems to be the thing that Bandai is kind of getting behind. Entry grades here and there, but mostly high grades. I think a Gundam Aerial entry grade would be neat. I think it would be neat to figure out how to make that kit only so many parts and vibrant. I don't know how you do some of the shoulders and chest pieces and headpiece without stickers. I mean, you can do it in this full mechanics. We're doing it here. We have these shiny pieces that we're putting clear over to mimic that, the shiny metal. So you could do it. I just don't know if they're gonna try. We'll find out. Let's go over to the old overhead camera. I already built part of the shoulder. We did that on Thursday because I did not stream on Saturday. If you did not see my notices about it, my apologies. If you came by sometime during Saturday expecting to see the old Build with Bear and you didn't get that and you were like, I'm confused. Where did Pat go? It's a Saturday. Pat streams on Saturdays. I did take that day off. We did one shoulder here on Thursday. We are now going to work on the other full shoulder. So we'll get that going here. Let's see. So this is on like that. So that goes like that. And then we're going to build the other part of the shoulder. Hey, Lord Crashington. Welcome, welcome. There are some undergating that we need to deal with here as we get into, I believe this is all going to be on C2 because we already did, we did the parts in C1. So now we're doing the parts in C2. But yeah, we are going to build up our shoulders. And so we will get out all the pieces we need for this. And then I will remind myself that there is undergating that needs to be removed so that when I go to put this together, it doesn't fit wrong. Just a little extra plastic nubbins. I will say nubbins. It's undergate is the proper term. I will certainly say on occasion nubbin because that is what we're removing. A little bit of extra plastic here and there. So we need 18 and 20, 17. 18 and 17 need to come off here. So we'll put those together there. So yeah, if you made it to my stream on Friday, thank you so much for being there. I thought it was a fairly successful endeavor. We are currently at 64 subscribers. The goal was 88. Getting to 64 is pretty cool. I ate 21 nuggets. My goal was 44. I have a bunch of nuggets in my freezer that, of course, had been reheated once and now don't take much to get hot. They're pretty crispy, so I can do them in the toaster oven or the microwave if I want. But I got some nuggets left over, which is fine. And yeah, didn't quite hit my goal, but I will say this. The subathon was more successful than my last subathon in January, which I would describe as less than successful. Content, both times, I felt pretty good about. I thought the Royal Rumble was fun. The 20 Nightmare Royal Rumble, I thought was pretty fun. The match after that, I knew a casket match was going to take a long time. It took a long time. The Joshi I showed, I thought was good. Hearthstone, I might have played a little too long, but I was feeling pretty good about it. I was having a pretty good time playing Hearthstone. We had a steady group of folks with us. We did not get a big raid, which I was hoping for. Now, I openly talked about that. I was hoping that Jeff Gersman was going to raid us because we started during his stream, and I was hoping that he would come and give us a raid. Jeff did come by this himself, and he did, become a subscriber again, renew his subscription, which is excellent. That's lovely of him. I appreciate that very much that he did that. But yeah, we didn't get the big raid. Now, a thing that I could have done was ask him. I didn't. You might think, what? Wait. What, Pat? You never asked Jeff, hey, do you think about raiding? No, never did. Could have just like shut him a note and said like, hey, I've been promoting this for a little bit. I'm doing my birthday subathon. No pressure, but if you'd like to give us a raid after your stream, we're starting, a little before you kick off. So if you want to, it'd be fun. By that point, I think your audience will like the CPU versus CPU in WWE 24 because we were still in that when that would have happened. I could have done that, and maybe I should have done that. I didn't do that. I did not ask, and now I'm like, probably should have. So there you go. That is a thing for me to think about in January of 2025 when I do my next one, because it'll probably be the end of January, if not the beginning of February. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. Is when I will probably do my next subathon, because I've been doing them twice a year. I do like the January, like, hey, I'm in this house by myself, I'll do this because this is the good time to do it thing. And then it's my birthday, I'm going to do something silly. So yeah, I have nuggets left over. I did eat some a bit ago here. I had a couple, and I'm just going to slowly make nuggets available for myself, which is not the end of the world. As far as how the stream went, outside of, did I get to 88 subscribers? No. Did I have a fun time doing it? Yes. Was I happy with the turnout? Yeah, pretty solid. We kept a good amount of people for a good amount of time. There were some folks we haven't seen in a little while. Some new people were around. And yeah, I thought the stuff was good. I had a good time. I had a pretty good showing with Hearthstone, which is always nice. I didn't end up taking a break. I was expecting that I would need one, but I never felt the need to take a break. So I didn't. So we didn't watch any old commercials, which now continue to live on a hard drive for when I need them. So I still have some old gaming commercials and trailers to show at a future event. Yeah, but otherwise, I thought it was pretty good. As far as big events here on the channel, I have not made any decisions on this yet, other than I want to do it. I will do a charity fundraising thing this year. Because I did not do um, uh, Plastic Model Weekender. I don't know why I couldn't think the name of the thing. I did not do Plastic Model Weekender this year. I took a year off from that to allow room for new people to come through and all of that. So that I can return to Plastic Model Weekender, and that'll feel like a big deal for me. Like, oh, Pat Baer returns to Plastic Model Weekender. What is going on here? Why is this not slipping in? Sorry, everybody. This worked. This did not cause me. Oh, there it goes. All right, it had to like snap in, and it wasn't snapping in. This clear piece was giving me some trouble. All right, we're done with this. Other than the need to panel line it, so let's get our gray marker and let's fill in some panel lines on here. So because I did not do Plastic Model Weekender, that means that I do not have a charity stream to participate in this year. I am trying to figure out what that means, what I can do. I am reaching out to a few people. I'm not spitballing here. I'm not like being facetious. I don't know what I'm going to do. I do want to take part in a charity event this year. I don't know if that's going to be Extra Life, if I will just make a page for it myself or join a team or a squad. I don't know. There is a charity event that I have been a big fan of and a supporter of for many years that I send an email saying like, hey, is there something I can do to help with this? Is there a way for me to get involved with this thing? Would that be possible, feasible, anything like that? Do you think this could be a thing that we could do together? And again, this is very early in that, so I don't know if that is reasonable or feasible. But I am, I want to do something this year. I would like to take part in an event and not just do a weekend on my own, because I think that benefits a lot of people. Also, at the end of the day, it is about whatever charity event that is taking place, but also, if I'm part of an event that allows me to hopefully have some people who don't know me see who I am and what I'm about. And maybe folks that do know me, that don't know that event or the group that I would be helping out, it would allow y'all, some of the regulars. I almost said regular folks, and that's rude. I meant to say regulars. Some of the Bear Cave. If I could expose some people in the Bear Cave to folks you may not be familiar with or groups you may not know about, that would be fucking cool. And that would feel nice. So, again, I'm not quite sure what that's going to be, but sometime this year I will do a charity event is what I'm saying. I still have random trading cards and sports cards, because last year I did not go through all of them. Those are waiting for an event. Will I use those? I don't know. One of the things I'm looking at as a possibility would make probably no sense for me to do that in. Other things I'm looking at, it would be kind of cool to do. So there's not much of an update as an update. 27 and 26 here. We are working on the arms. We can do the arms are basically completely symmetrical with the exception of the hands, of course, and how they connect to the two things. But for the most part, we can do these at the same time, 27 and 28. So we'll just pull that over there. This kit will feel complicated, probably in how it goes together. Probably the chest is going to feel a little complicated, maybe. But arms here so far are fairly straightforward. It is weird. Hey, Chris, welcome. I did say this on Thursday as I kind of got into this kit, that it was strange. It did feel strange to start with the arms. Generally, older kits, and by older I mean up to like 2014, would have you start with the chest, and even some modern kits would start with the chest. So it is kind of rare. And if you weren't doing the chest, you would start with the head. So it's a little rare to be working on a kit that starts with the arms. That is unusual. All right, so I need 27 and 28. We'll get 27 and 28 together. And then we'll also make sure, as we move on from this one step to the next step, that we have this part of the arm facing the right way, because that will affect things. 27, 28. And we'll get those two together, and then we will see where we need to go from there. So yeah, I think that's about it about the birthday subathon, aka the McNuggathon. The final thing I will say is incremental. I didn't dislike. Milestone streams where I'm like, hey, if we hit this, we do this. If we hit this, we do this. That's something that I think works. I think that can work. Now, in January, when I did my subathon, my beginning of the year subathon, that didn't work. So it's not to say I had goals, and maybe the thing that is a bummer about that is if you don't hit your goals, then you just don't do some things on the stream. And I think oh yeah, I really didn't like that part of it. All right, so this is the one. Yeah, okay. So it's gonna look like this. This is the direction I have to go with these. But yeah, I didn't love that. I didn't love being like, oh, okay, well, we don't get to do that right now because I didn't hit 50 subscribers. So not only are we not doing this one thing, we can't do anything else that was described or that I pitched as a possibility. So that wasn't great. Now, on the flip side, makes you feel like you were prepared. Yes, Lord Crashin, it does. It's like, and then later in the month, I did one of the things that we didn't get to because I was like, well, I have that prepared and ready, so I guess we'll just do it. The other side of that is, okay, it's kind of nice to have a big, we did it, we hit the number I wanted to hit, and a thing that feels like a triumph. And now, in the previous 2 times I did that before the January, that ended with me drinking a beverage that I did not want to drink. So I didn't have an end goal with I wanted to reach double my age, so 88 for 44. That felt like something that was feasible, and I wanted to do it. But I didn't have at 88, I will eat this 44th nugget, and then also this. And I probably needed that. That's my thinking right now. In hindsight, after the fact, I can look at it and go, yeah, what I probably wanted was a button on it. I wanted a top end rallying cry, because really the incremental thing was, I think, solid of a choice of food. If I can say that, I think it was pretty solid to be like, hey, if you get on board with this, you are trying to get me to eat a large amount of McNuggets. Washed down 44 with a monster Gogurt. I mean, yeah, so there's some kind of thing, right? And again, I do kind of, despite evidence to the contrary, I do kind of want to avoid punishment stuff. Pilk was just all right. Mountain Dew and Milk, Mountain Dilk was actually not bad. I think Monster Energy and Milk, if I had done Monster Milk, if I'd actually gotten to the number I was shooting for and actually followed through on that, that would have been unpleasant. I would have been unhappy with that. John says, I missed the subathon because I was traveling. Hope it went mostly okay. John, it definitely did. Also, hi, I'm John. Welcome back. The archive is up on my Pat Bear VODs. What is the I don't even remember what that is. I rarely promote Pat Bear VODs on here. They exist, and I link them out, but I don't usually tell people to go there. It's that channel there, because I don't think, yes, I do not have enough followers to make a shortcut on the VOD's channel. So I just linked there. But if you missed a stream, you can check that out. The stream archive is there. It is the version of the stream, not a local recording, because that shit was long and I didn't want to do a local recording of it. But yeah, I got a shortcut back when they were tricking me into using my real name on YouTube and Google+. Well, so it's my second account, so I can, I think, mess with it if I wanted to. Hey! Artistic biologist, not artistic biologist rated with a party of 6. Welcome, Raiders. Hello, hello. If you are new to the channel, my name is Pat Baer. I am a model kit builder and Lego assembler. And I am working on the Gundam Aerial. I began this last week, working on one shoulder, and now I am working on the other shoulder and then the arms, and we are slowly assembling this kit. All right, so it wants me to attach this piece here. John just says, go gotta re-up the Prime. Thank you very much. Let's do the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Thank very much to John for subbing with Prime. Appreciate you for that. The arrow is gorgeous. Is this the full mechanics? It is. This is the full mechanics. I have, of course, built the... no, of course, I shouldn't say. I have built other versions of this and the Elfrith. This one I happened to find on Amazon for a good price. While I was doing one of these streams, I happened to notice, like, oh, shit, oh no, that's a really good price. Oh no, I need to get that. All right, there's a little, this goes here, this goes like this. I believe this is correct. I will find out later if this is incorrect, and then you will see me cursing as I attempt to fix my mistake. But no, this looks right. Okay, great. Also, there is a fruit fly that you may see on camera. It is moving quickly. I have attempted to kill this fly. I have been unsuccessful in my attempts to make this fly no longer exist. So if you see me swatting at something, it's that, and my apologies for my unprofessional behavior. All right, this also looks right. I think I'm doing this correctly. But yeah. Working on the full mechanics, happy to. Yeah, the price was like, it was funny because, you know, live stream attempted murder. No, don't report me for that. It is funny when you're like, hey, here's my wish list and here are things you could pick up from it. Ah, shit, that's a really good price at the Aerial. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, well, I do have, oh, this money's coming in. Yeah, all right, I guess I'm getting it. And it's like, it was something I wanted for sure, and I'm going to be very excited to work on it. Also, shout out, I do know that some people have picked up things off my wish list for my birthday, and I appreciate that very much. I could see literally a couple things not on that list, and I believe I will be receiving those, in a couple days, which will be fun. I know some small items were purchased, which is why they're on there. And then I do believe somebody bought me some new snippers, which will be nice. And then I will try them out, and my hope is that they will become the new snippers, and these will become my backup snips, because my backup snips are wire cutters right now, and that's not good. It's not good. I also have my other ones that broke, that one of the tips broke, and obviously I do not want to continue using that once it's broken a bit. Those were not the top tier God hands, those were like the one below. The very good God hands, but not like the best God hands. But they were so light that I always felt weird about those. I love those snippers, but I always felt a little scared about using them on stream. And eventually did fall apart, which was a shame. All right, one arm done here. We'll hit the eraser in a second here, but we'll get this cleaned up. But yeah, I think that's enough about me talking about, before we got rated, was talking about the event that I did on Friday, my subathon, and I thought that overall went well. So I've learned some things, and hopefully I will remember those lessons for January when I do it again. I don't think I can handle more than 2 a year. I don't think the vibes would be good on that if I did more than 2 of them. I think about 6 months apart it's a little less, I think is reasonable, and it does feel like a fun celebration of my birthday to do that, and a good reason. Whereas the January one, there is no real good reason to do it other than, hey, I'm alone for a while and I'm gonna do a silly stream. Okay, that's perfectly fine. As for my birthday, my birthday weekend, outside of that, Saturday was very nice, relaxed Saturday. My voice was giving me a little bit of guff because I streamed for like 4.5 hours and talked constantly throughout. So my voice was a little unhappy with me. So I basically didn't talk too much on Saturday. Had a nice dinner. Didn't quite know what to do with myself. Turns out I stream on Saturdays a lot. And when I don't stream on a Saturday, it's because I'm at an event or something. I don't just end up not streaming on Saturday. So it felt very strange to watch like a show. Like I watched AW Collision, their Saturday programming, on a Saturday. Or you normally watch it later on the replay at like 11 p.m. Eastern. And so I watched it at 8. Excuse me, people. Would you guys happen to know how to tighten joints? I heard joints loose, probably apart from Caliban. I'm planning to get an Iron Blooded Orphans kit. I think it can be pretty loose. Some Iron Blooded Orphans kits can be loose. One of the ways that I like to tighten up joints that get loose, especially with like polycaps and all that, is I like to use, I have it over here, blue tack. This is blue stick. You can use whatever you want there. It's a tacky little blue stuff. I have found that putting that in joints gives something to grip on. It does not, it says glue there. This is not a hardening glue. It does just give a little bit. Some people will shave down some like toothpicks and shove those in there. I found that I like this. I'll just take a little bit about it and kind of roll it around, and then I will put it on whatever and then apply it to the joint that it's popping into. That is just going to hopefully allow that to be tightened up. Long term, a lot of that can be on posing. If your kit that you are building has a lot of weight on it because of the weapons that it's holding, then over time that can kind of get a little sloppy. But yeah, I have found blue tack helps with that, especially necks, like the head, where the head attaches to the chest, the neck piece of a mobile suit can sometimes be a little loose, and blue tack can help with that. I don't think any of the kits from Witch from Mercury, which we are currently building here, don't have, if you're getting something from Witch from Mercury, I think you're pretty okay. But yeah, Iron Blooded Orphans, those kits aren't old, but they're older, and where some of the plastic meets the polycap, the rubberized plastic, you're going to probably have some things that might be a little, the joints that might be a little loose over time. So blue tack can help with that. Again, I have a thing called blue stick. It seems to last forever, and hopefully that'll help you out. But I have run into that on occasion where a thing just did not want to, keep the joints nice and firm. And there's nothing really you can really do about it because you're not dealing with, unless you want to set it. If you want to set an arm in a position, then you can use liquid cement and fuse the plastic together. Liquid cement, does do that. That's for glue kits. You can do that. That's obviously not ideal because you want to be able to pose it and move it around, and then you don't want it to make it brittle and have it snap apart. So that's obviously not the best solution, but that's more of an emergency fix. Nail polish, yeah. Certainly. Super glue, again, super glue is, you could do something you could apply glue to the ball joint, like the joint. You could apply glue to that and let it sit and set because that's going to add a layer, and then the polycap will fit in a little tighter. So you can do that. That's basically the same thing as like blue tack, only you're slowly building up layers of material. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So that might not necessarily, but yeah, you got to be careful that you're not adhering pieces together if you don't want to do that. Yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, so I was talking about my weekend. Sunday, which was my actual birthday, I was very happy to just be kind of chill about that. I say chill. I did do things. I did get out there and have some fun. It's just that I'm not around my community anymore in person, so I'm a little limited in going out with the crew. That's not happening. Originally, we were not going to be playing D&D. My D&D crew was not going to get together. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, we were not going to get together, through Video Ninja. We were not going to hang out. But kind of last minute, I think like on Saturday, we realized that somebody's plans had changed. And I was a holdout because I wanted to be on vocal rest, but we just kind of I didn't do my character voice. I just kind of talked in a normal version of my voice. And we played D&D, and that was really fun. I really enjoy working with that crew. It's always a blast to hang out with them. So we did that, and that was really fun. And then I went out to dinner with my folks. We went to the Mexican restaurant that I like. There are two-part indication that this place is good. Besides it being local and I enjoy the food, those are important. But here is the distinction. Folks who are Mexican Americans eat at that restaurant. That's generally a good sign. Another good sign is often the staff have trouble understanding what you want. There is occasionally a bit of a communication barrier, and you often point at what you want on the menu. That is also an indication that you are in a place that you are in a good spot. You don't need those things to know necessarily, but I have found in my experience that those are some good signals that you were in a good spot. Anyway, had a good time there, had a good meal, ate a giant steak quesadilla with peppers and onions and mushrooms in it and cheese. And it was very large. They make homemade chips there with a homemade salsa at the table that is excellent. So that was pretty... Look, a steak quesadilla is pretty basic. But it's really good, and I know it's good, and I know it's very filling. This is my first hell, I'm in my mid-40s. I should talk about this now. I have my first I'm in my mid-40s thing. I had trouble sleeping on Sunday, not because I was so amped up from my birthday, but I had trouble sleeping on Sunday, I think because I had 2 regular Cokes. I drink diet at least and mostly diet caffeine free in this house. And I think the caffeine and the sugar was just too much and I couldn't fall asleep when I wanted to go to sleep. And I was like, shit. I bet I could build my tolerance again. But right now I am definitely 44. So I got to be careful with that. I think I'm done drinking soda in the evenings, or not soda in general, but especially if I'm at a restaurant, I think I have to get diet soda now all the time, which as a fan of a good fountain soda bums me out. But as someone that likes to sleep when it is time to go to sleep, I got to look out for number one. I'm number one. So yeah, that's my first shit, I'm 44. Okay. Realization. Now, outside of that, I ended my evening in a way that, in a very very Pat Bear fashion. I watched a wrestling show with some friends in a Discord. I hosted it and ran it, and we watched the same wrestling show. And it was a show that I have watched previously. It was from earlier in this year, I believe May. Yes. Ghostval says, the tip about Mexicans eating at a Mexican restaurant is legit, says Ghostval. Yes. You can go one step further, which is if you go to a place and you have to ask for a menu in English because they don't by default want to give you one. That's particularly the case in Japanese restaurants. That one you don't need to do, but that is an indication that like, oh, okay, this could be pretty good if they don't just flat out want to give you that. But that's more of a city thing. That's more of a neighborhood in a city that is less likely to come up than just the idea of people of that culture or race or creed eating in that establishment. Which again, if you can get it, A+. All right, D20 and D18. Water down my Cokes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's Diet Coke. Like, Diet Fountain Cola is going to be watered down. So I'm just going to have to start only but getting Diet Cola when I'm out at a restaurant or whatever, which I don't want to do, but I'm going to have to do unless it's lunch. If it's a lunchtime, then I will just have that because that caffeine will probably help me out throughout the day. It's just the other part of it where I was like, oh yeah, I gotta be better about it. Boo. All right, so 20 and that's 18 is here. All right, great. Take the edge off. Yeah, I'll just get a Coke with a lot of ice. No, that's not going to help it because it's the amount of caffeine suddenly in my system that was not in my system because I am not used to the caffeine and sugar anymore. Oh yeah, so it was the show that I was watching was Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, so a Japanese pro wrestling event. And I was checking out, again, I'd watched this, Hype 2. This is a produced show by the wonderfully talented and unbelievably weird Hyper Misao from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Hyper Misao is a creative, wonderful weirdo. Okay, so how does this fit in? And I really enjoyed her first show. I enjoyed this second one quite a bit. I had already seen it, but I had watched the first one with copious notes because there was not an English language version of it. So I only could watch it with copious notes done by some various groups that kind of translate and summarize things that happen. And I understood some of the references. There was like a cameo from, thank you very much for the follow, from Liam Neeson's niece's son. Appreciate that. Nice. So I was like familiar with some of the events that had happened in it, but somebody on I'll say this, somebody on a Discord I don't belong to, a wrestling Discord, somebody had gone to the trouble of getting a fan sub of this event, like a time-coded fan sub for it. They had gone to the trouble of paying somebody to do it. It wasn't a machine translated. Maybe somebody did some work with it, used that to help out with it. But it was hand done, and a friend of a friend sent that my way, and so I got it to work. Thank you, Media Player Classic, as archived and maintained by the fine folks at the K-Lite Codec Pack. If you are an anime watcher of a certain vintage and a certain methodology, you may remember the K-Lite Codec Pack. It may have been many years since you worked with that because you just have not had a need for that software or anything, or or codex of any kind, but as someone that still watches a bunch of weird shit that I download and grab from places, it is still necessary sometimes to have a way to make that shit work, because VLC solved a lot of problems, but VLC sometimes hates some weird video shit. And Media Player Classic does not care about your stuff. Media Player Classic plays just about everything, so especially if you're trying to watch older stuff and weirder stuff, VLC might not support those video formats, and Media Player Classic often does. It often, maybe not always, but it often understands the file you're trying to fucking play. I used to, when I was getting my anime primarily from the internet, downloaded in a when I was sailing for my anime, it was important because different people were doing the work and they were non-standard work. It was important to have all of the codecs you needed to run all of the various weird shit that people were making, because they weren't always easily making it available and understandable. So I had to do that. But what I should say, let me tell you this. Last night was really fucking fun to watch with people and hang out. It was really good. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed myself. Lovely messages from so many people on Facebook. I went on fucking Facebook because that is, your birthday is a day where people who you have not said anything to since their birthday come out of the woodwork to say happy birthday, and that is nice and makes you feel good, especially if you happen to be in a position where you feel somewhat isolated from community outside of the internet. Lovely messages on social media. I took it as an opportunity to see if people, wanted to support the channel and all of that. And some people did buy apparently a few things off my wish list, which is very kind of them, and I appreciate. And that'll be things that we build on stream once we're done with the aerial. So that'll be future builds. So it'll be a little while probably. And then of course I'll run a poll on my Patreon, my $10 Patreon supporters will get a poll on what should I build first? Because if I have multiple things built, for my wish list, I'll decide the order of operations, the build order, I should say. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice little thing. It was a nice touch of a bunch of different communities, watching a weird wrestling show with some new context of things and some people that I haven't, that I enjoy spending time with, talking wrestling with. It's always fun. And there's a bunch of wrestling coming up. We got Forbidden Door, AEW's Forbidden Door on Sunday. We'll talk about that probably on Saturday, go through the full card. Right now there are, I know there are 9 matches. Supposedly there are 10 matches now. But I don't believe one of them is real. Because I'm looking at, I'm not looking at AEW's list. I'm looking at Wikipedia, and Wikipedia keeps adding in a match with Jeff Cobb because he keeps cutting promos about how he's going to defend the New Japan World Television Championship at Forbidden Door. He keeps cutting promos, and people are like, well, he's saying he's doing it, but then AEW doesn't mention it ever and has not mentioned it yet. So I don't know why they keep adding that to the list. So right now, 9 confirmed and 1 supposed. So maybe 10 matches. And then they'll they'll most likely be some matches on the pre-show. Yeah. Jeff Cobb issues open challenge for AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. It's a promo. And they're like, yeah, that means he's doing a match. It's just what? Get out of here. That doesn't mean that he has a match. Wrestlers just say shit. So I'm a little annoyed with that because I that's not confirmed. But anyway, that's going to be a good show. That's next Sunday. Got a bunch of wrestling to watch before that. As always, consistent wrestling watching. As far as my streams here on the channel, they are continuing as normal. There's shouldn't be no change in anything for me anyway. I will let you know, but generally like the normal days, the normal streams of the normal days. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will just tell you that I do have my bonus stream, my regular Tuesday bonus stream, and we are going to check out Electrician Simulator. It is a sim game that I got for free through, I believe, Twitch Prime. One of those games that, you know, just like, oh yeah, if you want to get this, you can. And I believe I am using that through Epic. But yeah, Electrician Simulator. I have not tried it out. It seems fine. I do like sim games, certainly. And next month, we will, of course, check the new free update that will be coming out for Power Wash Simulator. Power Wash Simulator has an update coming out in July, the Alice in Wonderland update. And we'll, of course, check that out when it comes live. Also, WWE 2K24 has more DLC. It is the... oh, God. It's the music one. Which DLC is it? DLC. It's the Post Malone DLC. That's right. It is the yes. Post Malone will be playable in WWE 2K24 as part of the season pass. It's Post Malone and friends, and you were like, none of these people know who Post Malone is, Pat, that are listed on this. You're right. But that's just because it is these are wrestlers that either had a music gimmick or something to do with music. So you have Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers. That's music. Again, Post Malone. The Honky Tonk Man, he sang and danced. He was an Elvis knockoff that was bad on purpose. And then you have Sensational Sherry. Sensational Sherry was a wrestler, mostly known probably from WWF fans as being a manager. Pat, how does she relate to music? Well, you may not know this, but the original version of Sexy Boy, the Shawn Michaels theme, was sung by Sensational Sherry to and about Shawn. She sang the first version. And then eventually he did his version where he was talking about himself in the first person. But the original version is her singing. So there is a connection. And then Jimmy Hart is a manager. And Jimmy Hart wrote a bunch of WWF and WCW themes. Jimmy Hart was a prolific songwriter. He also performed some songs on variety shows and things like that. He had a song about he hated Dusty Springfield, the singer. He had a few songs. I don't necessarily think Jimmy Hart was a good singer, but he was a good composer of catchy songs. That's DLC 2. That is coming out. Actually, I said next month. That's coming out this Wednesday, but we won't see it because next Tuesday we'll of course we'll check out the Power Similar DLC, and the following week we might check out WWE, but it'll be Patreon's choice. It'll be an option. What is Posty rated at? I don't know what Posty's rated at. I will find out at some point, but right now I am unawares of what the Postman is coming in at. But when I do know, you'll know. All right. I want to go like, why do you want me to do that? You want me to do it like this? That's weird. Oops. Okay, they want me to do it like that. I don't know why, but they do. I don't know why they want me to bend the arms weird like that, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's strange. There we go. The arm is here. We are doing the arms like they bend like that. We got to do the hands as well, but let's just assemble the arms together. And then John says we have some work that needs done around the house if you want to put electric simulator to the test in practice. Yeah, we'll see. I did want to share two things. We almost did it, folks. We almost were able to go a stream without talking about layoffs or closures in video games. Literally, because if we had streamed on Saturday, I did not have anything to report on Saturday. We would have done it. We would have been able to do it on Saturday. But alas, it's Monday, and there is a closure of a game studio. And it came in like hot. It came in like sometime today. Challengers Games is completely shutting down and closing. They are a South Korean studio. I do not expect you to know about them because, not to say I know about every fucking video game out there, but I have never heard of these folks, so I don't necessarily expect you as well. But they had their latest game, Second Wave, was in early access. And Ilyang was their previous game, which was not a hit for them. And the story of this company is they had a game that did not sell well, and they were working on Second Wave. The demo people did not like, and they were already in debt when that demo hit and people weren't into it. Or a beta. I'm sorry. It wasn't a demo. It was a beta. They had a beta for it, and it was considered not good. And investment. They had gotten some investment, but they were publishing it themselves because they weren't being able to strike a publishing deal. And the writing was on the wall, and a bunch of I'll say this, their animation department all quit at the same time to go to another company. Things were not looking good for these folks. I say this just because this did not seem to be a studio mismanagement. This was not we were chasing some stuff. We had a success and we let it go to our head, and we flew too close to the sun. We grew too fast. This very much just seemed like a company that didn't make a game that was financially viable, and then they were trying to make another game, and then people were like, no thank you, as they were making that game. And then their Hail Mary play, their like last ditch effort was, let's put it out in early access to see if we can get some money in. And they had like a group of like 30 employees still. They had lost quite a few employees, understandably. And they were like, well, we're going to try to do it with this core group and put something out and then recoup a little bit. And maybe the buzz will be so good that we can get bailing out. And the buzz was bad because the early access was apparently not good. Which they knew going in was not gonna. It would be a miracle if it suddenly caught on. It did not catch on, and that studio has closed. That is Challengers. They were apparently about 2.5 billion won in debt, which translates, which works out to be about $1.75 million in debts. And they were having trouble paying their employees. The part of the early access was to also be able to pay off some employees. And the CEO is basically like, I'm going to pay everybody back that I owe money to. And I think we failed, and I am not, and like basically just being like, yeah, this did not work out, but I would take this kind of bet again. Which is something. It's not nothing. It ain't great because studio closed. People lost their jobs. And a lot of people seemingly did not get paid. or owed back pay, but it's rough. This last part that Temura said is refunds available on Steam. He believes a revival might one day be possible. I want to give you all this message from us so that you know the situation and prepare for the end of second wave before the servers suddenly stop. This is not the final road for us, but it is the final chapter for Challengers Games Corp. So yeah, under the wire of me being able to talk about it, there was a game studio closure, which obviously sucks. But I did want to get that out because I now feel somewhat obligated to report on these things, or at least confer that information. And then I will say on the positive side, positive question mark, I paid a lot of money for the WWE 2K24, the more expensive version, the ultimate version. Not the most expensive, the middle expensive. There's the regular version, the expensive version, then the very expensive version. I didn't get the very expensive because I don't care about the WrestleMania mode. I got the one that is a step down from that because I wanted all the DLC and I wanted to play the game early so that we were able to stream it, which we did, and I was happy that we were able to stream it. So I wanted to get that game in early and then also get all the DLC so I didn't have to worry about buying the DLC here and there. We looked at the ECW pack. We looked at that when it came out. We will also be looking at the Post Malone and Friends pack again sometime next month. We'll check that out as well because it's coming out this week. We will not be checking out in July the third DLC pack, Pat McAfee Show pack. That's Pat McAfee, Ty Schmidt, Boston Connor, AJ Hawk, and Darius Butler. And if you're like, Pat, I don't know any of those fucking people, and I know some wrestling. That's because none of those people are wrestlers, except for Pat McAfee, who has wrestled a couple matches for WWE. Those are all the banana riders for Pat McAfee's show. Those are employees of Pat McAfee. That's right. Pat McAfee got all his motherfucking friends into a WWE video game as DLC. Well, Lord Crashington, if you want a show-accurate Pat McAfee to get beaten up by wrestlers, you want to recreate Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, you can. I will certainly at some point probably play as Pat McAfee in the game, or, create a wrestler against Pat McAfee, I should say. Shit show. Aaron Rodgers is under contract with. My guess is, Lord Crashington, that Aaron Rodgers wants too much money, or Aaron Rodgers can't have his likeness be in a WWE game because of the football player, the NFL. I assume that he can only be in Madden games, and he can't be in wrestling games. I don't know for sure, but he's not in it. I can tell you he's not in it. But I assume that is the NFL. Darius Butler is not from Hootie and the Blowfish. I know that. Oh, yeah, but I'm guessing somebody will make a good creator wrestler. Yeah, I'm sure. So we're probably... that's Darius Rucker. Yes, I know that Chris was also joking. Yeah, that's Darius Rucker. So I will say, I don't know... I'm not going to dedicate a stream to playing all those people. At some point, we will do Pat McAfee in some matches because that's kind of fun. And we'll hear the terrible sound-alike from Seven Nation Army that he comes out to because he has a very bad version of Seven Nation Army that he comes out to. It's terrible. We'll hear that. You put him in the Nightmare division? Sure. Spooky division. And the other two packs are one pack is just WWE wrestlers we didn't put in the game for whatever reason that are one was Jade Cargill wasn't signed to WWE when they were finalizing the game. Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Michelle McCool, Carlito. Michelle McCool's not an active wrestler, but sure. Kairi Sane, should have been in this year's game. It was weird she wasn't. Lyra Valkyria hadn't been brought up from NXT, but everyone was expecting her to. And Dragon Lee also brought up from NXT and was brought up kind of when the game was already done. So they put him in as DLC. And then the fifth pack is WCW people, which is very funny from the way they're worded. Diamond Dallas Page, of course. Iron Sheik, not really WCW. He did, but not the version anyone remembers. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig was in WCW, but he was not in WCW as Mr. Perfect. He was in as Kurt Hennig. Great Muta, yes, he wrestled in WCW quite often. And Lex Luger, also yes. But it's very funny to call him Mr. Perfect and not Kurt Hennig, because it's like, that's not what he wrestled as. That's like saying, oh, Scott Hall is in the game, but, you know, of course, in this game, we refer to him as Razor Ramon. Yeah, sure you do. All right. We got an arm done. Arm done. Got another arm done. We're making good progress on this model kit. And you know what that means. It's time for the pause for the cause. That's right. I love when DDP was Christian's anger management coach. That's an okay time. Yes, that is shortly before the end, but it's still a good time for DDP. Now it's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you, viewer, about ways you can support the channel. I will try to keep this brief. I am going to talk for a couple minutes, and I don't apologize for that because I don't have sponsors for my stream. So this is my opportunity to tell you about ways you can support the channel, and those are optional ways to support the channel. If you would like to, you certainly can. Are you under any obligation to do any of the things I'm about to mention here? Fucking course not. If you would like to, I would love it if you wanted to. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, link with your Twitch, you can use that. John used that tonight, which is very kind. You can link that, and then you get you don't get ads. You don't get pre-roll ads or ads during the stream. You get cool emotes, and you help me out. So that's nice. Obviously, you don't have to become a subscriber, but if you want to, you can. You could gift a sub like Bobby Dice Roller and Aristophan, and I mean, a bunch of people have gifted subs. Those are just what shows up there. Carl and Lashbrook, who all gifted subs. Thank you all to everybody that's gifted subs this month. Wild and very cool. Or bits and coins. You could join the bit sub leaderboard, or the bit leaderboard, I should say, with Harold. If you wanted to do that. Again, optional. You don't have to do any of these things. Now, if you want to support me, but you don't want to go through Twitch, because you're like, Pat, I don't want to get in on this because next month the sub prices are going to go up in a bunch of countries, and I just don't want to do that. I hear you. Well, you know where price won't go up is my Patreon, because supposedly Patreon can't make me. They are not allowed to tell me that, which is great. But I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. And over there are different tiers and different rewards for the different tiers. There is a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. Get different things for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon if you'd like to. I'm sitting at $100 at Patreon, which is great because I'll explain where that money goes in a bit. But that's nice. That is a nice even number. I'm happy with that. But if you want to make that number all weird by jumping in there, you're more than welcome to. I love it. And also, hey, I got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe for free, of course, and please do, because I post videos there quite often. Also, on my YouTube channel, there's a thing that you can do over there. Sorry, a bunch of thunder just started rolling through, and it really distracted me for a second. Sorry, that was so loud that I heard it with my headphones on. But on my YouTube channel, you can become a member over on YouTube, and for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. So tomorrow in the afternoon, you will receive a video that other people have to wait till Wednesday to see. And those are monthly ways to support me, the reoccurring monthly payments. If you just want to make a quick little donation, to the old build fund. You can do that through my Ko-Fi or my PayPal if you would like. You're happy to, you're welcome to, I should say. Not you're happy, you're welcome. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I take money out and I use that to buy model kits. The aerial Gundam, which I have the arms that I have been building here. We worked on the arms. We're done with the arms. We're going to move on to the chest. I was able to pick up this kit, which was expensive, even on sale, still expensive. I was able to pick this kit up because of your generosity. Past you is helping present me. And if you want to help out future me, you can do any of those things. Now, I mentioned that some people did buy some stuff off my Amazon wish list, and those will be the next things that I build when they arrive and the aerial is done. If you want to get in on the fun and you want to help decide what I build in the future, you can do that. You can just go to my Amazon wish list and buy something. I have inexpensive kits, expensive kits, Lego sets and model kits, very old kits, stuff that's new, stuff that is inexpensive, things that are ridiculously pricey. Like, goddamn, how did this get so expensive? Why are these high grades so much money? I know they're old, but why are they so expensive? It runs the gamut. I recently added some new stuff. Some new model kits, new to the list, old in general, like the full armor Gundam from Thunderbolt. I've just never built that. That kit has so many shields because it's got arms coming out of its backpack and extra shields. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous looking Gundam. I put that on the wish list. I also put another ridiculous Gundam from Thunderbolt, the Atlas Gundam, which has like weird beam shields that are also it like becomes like a surfing platform for it. It's so weird. It's got a very long rail gun. What a weird kit. The Atlas kit. It's great, but it's weird. I put a bunch of kits up on there that I'm happy to build. And then there's some gear at the bottom if you want to support me and what I do here, but you don't quite know what to do. If you want to just spend $10 on a cheap headphones that I have here. These headphones are very inexpensive. These Sony headphones, because they don't need to be studio headphones. They just need to like have that stuff come in here without going out to everywhere. I don't need them to be like super good quality. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on that wish list, and that is a way to help me out, and you get the benefit of me building a cool thing or using a piece of gear and looking at it and go like, oh yeah, somebody bought that for me. It's so kind of them. I have a Throne wish list that is mostly gear and gift cards because they don't keep a lot of model kits in stock on Throne, but that's an alternative to Amazon. If you do not want to use Amazon, you have another option. Let's see. What else? Let's throw... Oh, USA Gundam Store. They're not a sponsor, but they do sell gift cards. And if you want to support me in a way that is convoluted and weird, you can do that through USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card. They send you an email with the gift card code. Then you take that gift card code, you copy and paste it, and you send it to me here on Twitch via the Whisper message system, or on Twitter via DM, or on Blue Sky via chat message, or on I guess, yeah, Mastodon. You could do that as well. But you send me the gift card code, then I will use that gift card code at USA Gundam Store, and I will buy the thing that you buy something. You can make a recommendation. I bought the Epion Real Grade. Ghost Valve bought me a gift card to USA Gundam Store and was like, get the Epion. I got that Epion. That was very kind. Let's see. I think that's okay. We'll get back to building in just a second. I will say, if you want to support me, but you were like, Pat, I do not want to spend any money while I am supporting you, join my Discord. You'll know about upcoming events that I'm doing. You can have a nice little chat with some people. The general chat is about things we're interested in. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People sometimes post stuff they're working on. A call to my regulars, if you're working on any model kits or puzzles or building something, you got a garden going, throw that in the Discord. I like seeing that stuff. And it's better than sending me a message on a social media platform like Twitter. It's just better. I'll still see it on those places, but it's better to do that. Okay, what else? We got that. A couple of video links for you to peruse and maybe check out later, maybe bookmark and watch later. How about the newest episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club? Now, this was recorded last Tuesday on stream. So maybe you're here for the stream, so you already watched it. Maybe you came in late to the stream and you missed some of it. It's 2 hours. It's a 2-hour video. If you want to watch some of it, that would be great. I would love that. If you want to know about what I was excited about and or what I did not like in the spring 2024 anime season, I talked about that for like an hour and 15 minutes. And then 45 minutes or so was me talking about the upcoming anime season and what I'm excited about. A couple shows got added since this video came out. A couple other shows were confirmed. So maybe I shot it too early. Who knows? But at least we also know where a few shows are going to be and when they're coming out. And a couple of them, we know what the name is of the shows. So that's good to know as well. Lashbrook really needs to take a break. More breaks from video games for model kits. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. Work on that backlog. Hey, it's your friend Pat here saying to everybody, if you are watching this right now and you are a model kit builder or a Lego builder, or you're doing some 3D printing and you're painting some Warhammer minifigs, it's time to do that again. It's time to get back into it. Work on your backlog. I believe in you. Also, if you want to watch a really quick video where I gush about one of my favorite mech anime of all time, I talk about the Big O in this video for Kuma Baer, which is my weekly anime recommendation series. June has been Mecha Month, and I've talked about some of my favorite mecha series, some of my favorite Gundams, one of my favorite Gundams, I should say. One of my Cool Guy mecha series, my favorite Gynex show, and then also the Big O. The only show so far this year that I have recommended that you cannot watch on a streaming service, which sucks. High Dive, get that license back. You had it. You had it for a while. Get that license back, High Dive. I believe in you. All right, we are going to talk about some anime that I have been watching, and then we will get back into working on here. We're going to start on the chest, try to get some work done on the chest here. Before I get into that anime discussion, talking about some shonen that I have been watching, I do need to drink some water. We need to go to the overhead camera, and we're going to do that right now. All right. Just this right there. There we go. Harold's here. Hello, Harold. Welcome. Okay. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Harold just cheered for 5 bits. Appreciate that. Gotta hit that button. My apologies, friends. And then we also have to hit this button. Cha-ching. Thank you very much, Harold, for your 15 bits. Harold dominating the cheer board. My apologies for pressing the wrong button there. Anyway, we're going to work on the chest because we finished the arms, the very detailed full mechanics arms. Now it is time to work on the chest assembly here, the shell unit, as it's called here. Yeah, we'll get into that. There is some undergating to deal with. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the dance button. I will hit the dance button. I will, Lashbrook, or sorry, Lord Crashington. You press the button, Lord Crashington. So I will. If you're unfamiliar with this because you came in from the raid or you just haven't been to a stream in years, I got a button on my stream deck that says dance. When I press it, music plays. I change the music every month. Here is the song that we currently have this month. Oh yeah. Yeah. Bassy. And then, oh yeah. Little guitar riff coming in. Hell yeah. Yeah. There's another guitar coming in. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, where's E3? There it is. It's just a little fun song that builds. That's fun. Thank you for using your channel points for that. I appreciate it. I do have channel points that allow you to do some silly stuff. And then the newer things they put in where you can pay real money as far as bits to make things happen on the stream. I have those set at a very high price because I don't want people to use them. And then there's one that I can limit to just once a stream. So I have that set up. If I could turn them off, I would. It's weird. You can't disable them. I know that Twitch wants their cut of whatever they can, but there are streamers who are very much interested in doing stuff where people can interact with the stream and cause chaos, but it's at their discretion. There is no E3 pad. Okay. What did I say? Did I say anything about E3? I don't know. Oh, I said E3. Okay. Yes, there is a piece called E3 Herald. Okay. I was very confused. I was like, did I accidentally say E3 instead of something else that I was trying to say? No, I just said E3, the part of the model kit. Okay. Got it. Yes, I referred to a piece as that. Okay. Got me confused for a second. Anyway, I'm going to assemble parts of this chest here, so we'll get into that. And while I do that, I will talk about the anime that I've been watching. We got episodes 12 of 13 for Windbreaker and episode 11 of 12 for Kaiju number 8. Shit's kicking off in Kaiju number 8. Things are getting fucking serious. But over on Windbreaker, we're in extra innings, folks. But like, we're in extra innings, but like, we already know who's going to win, and so it's weird that we're there. What I'm trying to say is this show, basically episode 10 was the climax of the arc, of the introductory arc of the show. Like, we hit that. And then it was like, okay, that's done. And then episode 11 was kind of like, all right, we're going to like relax and kind of wrap this shit up. And we'll figure out what our next step and what we do need to do next. And then it was like, here's a new wrinkle, but it's not much of a wrinkle. And then we're just kind of cruising. It's like, if there is a season 2, these should be like the first couple episodes of season 2. You know what I mean? Like this is, we're starting to get into like this. Yeah, this should be season 2 starts. And then like, it's just kind of window dressing. And then the real season 2 begins. Like it, you know, then we get into the arc because we want to start off kind of chill. That's what I'm feeling like here. This is not going together correctly. I don't know if I'm... Sorry. All right. This is going to go like this. And then this is going to go... That right? Which would then have this go here. Yes. Okay. This is now correct. This didn't look right before. I believe this is right now. But that doesn't move correctly. Maybe it's not supposed to move. Okay. All right. Whatever. A little confusing. Anyway, Windbreaker. It's kind of just chill. Episode 12. Episode 11 had Sakura, our main character, who by the end of the big fight there didn't really do a lot. Now you may remember that Sakura has multicolored hair, and people always assumed that he was a delinquent. He wasn't one. But people assumed because his eye color was, his two eyes are different color, and his hair color was different, that, you know, that he was trying to stand out and he was labeled a delinquent. So we said, well, if people are going to think I'm a delinquent, I might as well become one, and I'm going to go to a school for delinquents, and I'll rise to the top and be the best delinquent possible. Well, turns out He's not. He is a good boy. He can fight, and we have seen that he can fight, but he is mostly just like kind of a misunderstood dude. Nathan says, I'm cool with Sakura just being tsundere. Yeah. This goes a long way to kind of understand what's going on with this dude. Because again, this is not necessarily, this was never necessarily his fight or his desire. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, well, I'll show you. But he gets nominated to be basically the grade captain. Each grade has its own captain of Furin, and he got nominated as the captain, and everyone was just like, yeah. Suo was just like, oh, it should be you. And he's like, yeah. And everybody was like, yeah. And our guy is kind of like, huh. He is very much not expecting it, not sure what to say. And part of it is him just being like a dude that is still very much not used to people wanting to be his friend or support him. Like he's still very much not used to that. But also like part of the major philosophy argument in the brunt of the show was the idea of like being a leader without any goal or any mission. And he doesn't have a mission or a goal because outside of like being in charge, he doesn't really have anything. So he's not sure what he should be doing. Okay, so I did do this wrong. Great. I thought maybe I hadn't done this wrong, but it turns out I did do this wrong. So hold on, everybody. I have to do this right now. I need to separate these pieces here. And then this needs to go this way. And then this goes like this. Okay. Now, this theoretically, I did this right. And this will line up correctly. And this will go in there. Again, I think I did this right. I don't know. We'll find out in a moment. Can I put this in? Yes. All right. I am building the chest correctly. Seemingly correctly. As of right now, this feels correct. Is it right? I don't know yet. I'll let you know. Neck seems like there's a gap there, but maybe that's on purpose. Yes, the neck seems okay. This seems okay. Oh, yeah, because that'll go like that. All right. I think I am doing this properly. And now we're going to build some components there that I think go around the shoulder. So we'll get those looking all right. Anyway, back to anime discussion. So he just we find out that Kaji, who we've met kind of like as like a newer character, he is the captain for the second years. And he acknowledged that Sakura would be the right person for the job. So Sakura kind of has to go along with it, even though he is still pretty conflicted about the whole thing. They go patrolling. He's now like as a captain going on patrol with people. And there is a chunk of this episode is dedicated to goofiness. We get a little silly. It's been a little while since we've been silly. There's an old lady looking for her girl. And we find out that her girl is a cat. You kind of guess it, but they were a little slow on the uptake. There's a whole thing about chasing a cat and falling in the river. And then everybody's pretty psyched because she had snacks for them as a thank you. So everybody gets snacks. Again, very fun. This show definitely has some good goofs to it that I'm always like, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. That's some silliness I can get behind. Sakura is like talking to Kaji about why he became a captain and what he wants to achieve. And he's basically just like, look, my secondaries wanted me to do this, and I want to make them, I want their choice to be right. Like, to the effect of like, I want to do my best because they're doing their best. Like, that's kind of where he's going with it. I can kind of truncate that. He's got to live up to them. And so he kind of comes to the realization like, okay, yeah, all right. He was tossing, turning all night about it. We have another connection or another meeting at the cafe with Kodaha, who is, even for a boy shonen, just not in stuff. She is just like introduced early on, and you're like, oh, okay, the love interest or the friend who is going to be in a lot of stuff. She'll get kidnapped or whatever. But not even that. She's just like kind of there sometimes. Anyway, we find 11. What is A11 look like? That's A11. And I need to figure out where it is. Oh, here it is. A10, A9, A16, A15, A17, A11. Here you are. A11. Found you. Anyway, she's basically just like, hey, you never call people by their names, which I didn't pick up on. I'll be honest, folks. I did not pick up on it. And that might have to do with just Sakura, like, not trying to distance himself and not wanting to be close to people because he's been hurt so often. But, yeah, he doesn't call people by their names. And she basically just like, that's the first thing you should do as grade captain, is you should start acknowledging people. Neri is basically like, Neri's like trying to give him a crash course and like, hey, that's who that person is. That's what they look like. That's their name. And later he basically just says like, this is like, I can't fight, but this is how I will support my captain is by, this information. Like I will help him out this way. And then Sakura realizes like this, this defense mechanism that he's had where he hasn't learned people's names is, it's some kind of being insecure. And so he is going to try to start calling people by their names. And he starts with the people he knows the best, which is the smart way to go, where he's just like calling Suo and Neri by their names. And then the episode ends with the major guys and their seconds all showing up. And it's a big production. It's a big how do you do. And we got one more episode left of this. And like I said, this episode was just like, this feels like episode 1 or episode 2 of season 2. It doesn't feel like the show needed 13 episodes, is what I'm saying. I don't hate it. And I like, again, I imagine we might get a bit of a cliffhanger or something in case there's a season 2. Or maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's not going to be 13 episodes. Maybe they are stealth going to have a 2-core, and we just don't know. And we're going to find out at the end of next episode that like, oh no, this is continuing right now. Like it wouldn't be the first time that that's happened. So again, I don't necessarily think that's what's going on, but maybe that's what's up. All right, I need D21 and D21 to put these pieces on, and they're going to go on back here. So let's get those on. So that was obviously very chill. There was the excitement, but definitely silliness involved in Windbreaker. There's not any silliness in Kaiju number 8 because this is episode 11. And this is where things are getting real. You may remember our main character, Kafka, is part monster. That was not his whole life. He was not that way, but he can become a full kaiju. And he was hiding that while trying to do his best in the defense force. And only a couple people knew. And now everybody knows. And he is under arrest. And people are trying to figure out what's going to happen with him and where things are going to go with that. There's a bunch of ideas about what they can do because they're studying, like throughout, they're going to study him and just kind of like figuring out like, well, what can we do with this? And they're doing studies on his DNA and trying to figure out what he can be used for and all of that. Just trying to figure out what to do with this whole goddamn situation. Isao, who is Kikaru, the tsundere girl, her father who is also the Defense Force General Director, is just like, yeah, this guy's a monster, though. Like, the 3rd Division has to give him to us. We will figure this stuff out. And he's being observed. He's in prisons, and he remembers some stuff about, which will come up soon. He's a numbered kaiju, and when kaiju get numbered, often is because they are special cases, and often they are used in some way for the Defense Force. So one could make the assumption that if he is not being used as a weapon, his body may be used for science, basically, for defense, which does not sound great if you want to be alive. All right, so this is going to go like this. I have to click that in place. All right. I am fairly confident that I am doing this right, that this is how this should go. We will know probably in a way. If I did this wrong, I will find out at a certain point, and it will be infuriating. But at this very moment, this feels right. Anyway, he's fairly confident that he's going to get turned into a weapon. Mina takes them he's going to an airfield because he's being transferred. There's a point where a lot of the people in the division are there, and they seem to be supportive of him, especially because he did save their lives. So, and they know him as a person, so they seem on board, including Reno and a bunch of them. Even if they are not convinced themselves, they do their best to say to him, put on a brave front and say, like, you'll be back soon. Because he is going to a maritime base for further study and also to figure out what to do with them. There is a point where he's just on the transport vehicle with Mina alone. And this is like, I think only the second time in the anime, in modern time of the anime, that they've had like a real conversation, because he still hasn't felt worthy of standing by her side. But she is supportive. She's supportive of him, especially what he did against the Kaiju number 10. And she's trying to prove that he's human, that he has, some monster components, but he is more to the point that he is a human being, a weird human, but a human being. And that, he can stand beside her. And it's a nice little scene. This is the scene that I have been kind of waiting for with these characters. Again, I am anime only with this show, so like when they had their first interaction and it wasn't much of anything, I was like, anime, give me some of the good stuff. This is some of that good stuff. They're like, all right, yeah, this is... You can kind of get a sense that when they were young, these were the inseparable friends. Like, you get a little bit of a sense of that. Okay, they depart. They're on the base, and then it's mostly just testing, and a bunch of people like doing various tests and trying to figure stuff out. We cut back to the people like trying to figure out what they should do, and how to support him, and people who are worried about him. Hoshina is very Hoshina about the whole thing, which I really liked, where he's like, yeah, I want him back because I want to spar with him. I want to spar with that version of him, which is very in keeping with what we know of this character, where like he's on board, but he's still about the mission. And also that is a fun, like the most fun reason is like, oh yeah, I want to be okay because I want to fight him. Apparently, so then Kikuro meets with her dad because she's going to try to plead her case with her dad to not get rid of Kafka. Apparently, Kafka is growing a core like other kaiju. And he's just like, Kafka's a kaiju. And then he drops the bomb. He drops the I win this argument, young lady thing of saying like he's a monster, like the monster that killed your mom, which is just like fuck off. Like I know you're doing the dad thing here, but like go fuck yourself, man. Get the fuck out of here. She still believes in him. This did not change her mind. She's like, good for you. We find out that a lot of people from the division are being moved around, and it really feels like, oh, this is just moving people around so like there's not a united front of like trying to stage a protest or a rescue or something. This is moving people around to kind of separate them. But apparently this plan was in place before this because a lot of the different branches have been attacked by kaiju, and they expect another intelligent kaiju to attack at any time, which is pretty good forward thinking, I will say. I need A24 here. A24 is, in this case, it's a piece of plastic. Everybody's going to be training up rookies, and maybe that's just to keep Mina busy, but whatever. We're getting some new rookies. There'll be some new characters put in. And Renos agrees, and everybody complies. And then it seems like a lot of people, the whole division is like they don't want to lose Kafka, and they're hoping that this will work out. And then Isao, the head of all of this, goes and meets with our guy, Kafka, and Kafka is released from his containment so that Isao can shoot him and collect blood in a tube. And this is just to show Kafka, hey, I don't think of you as a human. I think of you as a test subject, as a monster that we have in captivity. It's fucked. It's a fucked thing that our guy is doing. As I struggle to get this connected here, there it goes. All right, I've heard that is this was an annoying thing that I have now done to get this chest on here. We will panel line this whole thing. I love this metal, or these metal coated plastic here. Instead of the stickers, doing it like this is beautiful. I understand why you can't do that on a high grade, but god damn it if it doesn't look fucking fantastic like this without stickers. God, being able to replicate that, you're not going to see these pieces in a high grade. I understand that. I totally get that. But god damn, this fucking looks rad as shit. And then we're going to put in some more pieces here. B28, A18, A17. Okay. We are almost done with the chest, and then we'll panel line it, and then we'll start working on the backpack. The end of this episode is a fight. A fight breaks out. And we get that thing that, we talked about how kaiju, some of the kaiju make weapons. Kaiju number 2 are mechanized arms that only Isao can use. He's the only person able to use that. He is fighting with Kafka, who's fighting him as his part human, part kaiju variation. He's not gone full kaiju for this fight. But it very much looks like Kafka is going to fucking die because Isao completely dominates him in one of the best fights, a short fight, but one of the best fights we've seen this season. But just as it looks like this is it and this is over, as people are observing this, maybe Isao won't actually do it, but maybe he will. Something is wrong with Kafka because he is kind of frozen in place. And a kaiju inside of him is talking to him. It's the tiny kaiju that went into his body that turned him into this, or at least the machination, the representation of that. It is the monster. It is legitimately the monster within. And he says that, or it says, you have to kill Asao. And the episode ends with Kikaru pleading to Kafka to prove that he's human. And we don't know if Kafka is in full control or not, or if the monster is, what this is, how this manifest happened, why this manifest happened. Is it a theory that I have that is not tested in any way and doesn't have any basis in necessarily reality that I know of? Is perhaps it is the exposure to the weapons from Kaiju number 2 that had this happen, or it is that Kafka is finally, for the first time, seemingly close to death, and so the monster within, the representation of that, is now trying to preserve itself. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. We will find out next week. But as far as cliffhangers go, this is a pretty good fucking cliffhanger for Kaiju number 8, a show that I have really, really enjoyed. I don't know how it's doing in Japan. I don't know how it's doing in the West. I don't know if there will be another season. I can't tell you. But I do know that along with Windbreaker, are manga that I will be picking up once the anime is over, because I want more. But I don't want to start reading it until the season is done. I don't want to be. I mean, I don't think I can get spoiled about stuff, but I don't want to start until I'm ready to dedicate it, you know? Also, there could be something like a manga chapter that foreshadows something that they didn't include in the anime, that kind of stuff. Lone Shadow asks, for the Witch from Mercury kits, are those cyber parts on the chest stickers? Yes. A thing with like the aerial that is kind of cool is there are, not all the time, but on a couple of them, there are inverse stickers, which is the first time I've ever seen that, where like you will put the sticker on the inside. So like this side of the clear piece, you will put a sticker, and the sticky side of the sticker is the cool looking, cyber-ish looking part. And that'll be a sticker, but you're actually putting that on the inside of the plastic. I've only seen that in a couple parts. There are also some Witch Mercury kits that have the kind of like metallic looking, not as good as this. There are a couple that do have pieces like this that will go underneath the clear, but most of those kits are actually just regular stickers that then you put the clear plastic on top of. So it'll be like this clear piece here, but it'll be on top of a sticker that you apply to it. That's most of the kits in the Witch Mercury line, but there is one aerial. I think it's the aerial revival maybe, that has the inverse stickers, or it might be just the regular aerial. I've built a lot of Witch Mercury kits, and I'm sorry that I can't remember exactly which one it is, but one of them has that. And there's also one that gives you options. There are a couple of the Witch Mercury kits give you the option of using the kind of circuitry cyber stickers, or just like a black sticker. And I don't know why you would pick the black sticker, but maybe some people want it to be more subdued. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, with stickers, putting on a coat there to kind of bind it all together, and a clear coat on there. I think that's always a viable option. I don't have good ventilation in this room, so I don't use any sprays. But I probably should, once a kit is done, I probably should go back and do that. All right, I'm going to panel line this, and then we'll work on the backpack on the next stream, because we're going to wrap up soon. Not right at this moment, but we will soon. But for the time I have left, I am going to panel line the aerial here, what we got on this. We'll be using black on the blue and gray on the white, and we'll also use black on the gold. Some people like using brown on gold. I don't. Or the yellow. I don't like doing that. I like using brown on red. A bright red. So I don't use the brown too often. But I use like gray on the white. You're gonna panel line with that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, yes. If you're going to use a top coat using the panel line, yeah, like if you're going to use the ink, the panel ink kind of set instead of markers, yeah, I am not going to be using a top coat on this kit. I am just using the quick and dirty method of covering any lines, any notations I can see there, and then hitting it with my eraser. You could use a Q-tip, you could use a tissue, you use your finger. I like using the polymer eraser because it's got a good feel to it. And then I probably should have done this piece here before I put the back on. I am now realizing that this piece of the neck, but also we're not going to really see back here anyway, so I'll just hit the top of it. Won't really see much of the neck here anyway, other than just a little bit of the side. So it's okay that I did that, but I'm not really thinking about this being a full mechanics with tons of layers and all that when it comes to markers. So I should have been thinking of that, but I didn't. But that's a good little tip I can pass on to you. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to ask you, friends. We have a few minutes left on the stream. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? What's got you going? What are you involved with as far as video games go? I finished the first part, because there'll be another part later, of the DLC for Alan Wake 2. That's some good ass DLC. If you haven't picked that up, I do. If you loved Alan Wake 2 and you like the idea of a like Twilight Zone style DLC that maybe ties into Control a bit, that's real good, and I think you'll like it. No spoilers, but it's real good. And then I've been playing Hearthstone. Helldivers 2, we played a little bit yesterday. My multiplayer crew have been all over the place with stuff. So we haven't really dived too deep into Helldivers for a bit, but hopefully we're going to get in there. Because it's always a good time to play a little bit of Helldivers. I haven't been watching anything. I mean, my normal anime. 25 episodes later, I can tell you that Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy did not need 25 episodes for season 2. A lot of that shit felt really dragged out. I still think that was a good second season, but it did not need to be a 2-core, and it did not need to be 25 episodes to tell the story they were telling. But the action, particularly episodes 23 and 24, were really fucking solid. Some really good action there. And this episode that kind of wrapped things up and set up some other things, I thought was pretty strong. So I was happy with what I watched of that. And yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on some anime. I'm going to try to finish Bartender. I am still an episode behind on Voice Actor Radio, Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. I'm still a whole episode behind on that. I'd like to get caught up for Thursday. I know on Thursday I'll talk to you about Whisper Me a Love Song, because I haven't talked about that episode yet, but I will. Chris says just played Red String Club and Riven Remake releases tomorrow. Hell yeah, Riven Remake. That's awesome. Windbreaker, and you're watching some Gundam series here and there. Dead by Daylight with friends, but mostly Final Fantasy XIV. Hell yeah, Lone Shadow. I hope you're enjoying your Final Fantasy XIV times. Lashbrook watched a lot of remap streams this weekend. Yes, they had their big anniversary. I did not catch a lot of it. I caught some of the end because they it was fun there. But I had some stuff going on this weekend, so I didn't watch too much of them. But I will probably get caught up. I'll probably have them on as background, the archives, as I do other things. Started getting into really good weapons now. And Fallout 2. Nice. You picked that back up. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. Ghostbow says, doing a fresh replay of Elden Ring up to the DLC. Nice. You started a full watch of Mob Psycho and almost am through the first season. Ghostbow. Mob Psycho. Not enough people talk about the last season of Mob Psycho, which is a shame, because Mob Psycho ends phenomenally. It is such a good conclusion to that series. It does the show justice. That whole series is a treat. The OVAs are fun. You don't need to really watch the OVAs, but they're still fun. But yeah, that whole series whips ass. I'm glad you're watching it. Hell yeah, enjoy it, because it is an incredible series. My boy Mob just fucking whips ass, and is such a good boy, top tier, one of the best boys. Wristfan says spend a bunch of time playing Final Fantasy XIV. The expansion comes out Friday. Yes, you get that expansion. Hell yeah. Also dipped my toes into the Elden Ring DLC. Got a cool new sword that shoots out an arc of light like I'm freaking Link. Hell yeah. That sounds rad. Also, this looks rad. God damn, look at this thing. I think this my light bulb might be dimming a little bit. This feels a little darker than normal. I'm going to have to investigate. I feel like this is darker than it was previously. That might be due to one of my light bulbs dimming. I'll have to take a look for Thursday stream, because I won't need those for Tuesday. That is going to wrap up tonight's stream. I hope everyone's doing good out there and you had a good time here on the stream. I had fun. I hope you did too. It's Monday. We got a raid. That is what's going to happen now. At the end of every stream, we raid because we need to share the good times. We did get raided tonight, so we need to share the love. So we will go on a raid. We're going to see who's doing some cool stuff out there. Always end with a raid, as John says. And Nathan finished Dungeon Meshi and really enjoyed it. I kind of want a Chimera statue now. Yeah, I mean, I ended my time with Dungeon Meshi understanding why so many people love it. I don't love it, but I get it. It looks like Mary is not streaming because I think Mary is traveling or finished traveling or is traveling. I don't keep up, but I think Mary is on the road. Also, Mary might not want to stream with people having lots of questions about anyone they can ask that are involved with Twitch, perhaps. I don't know. I can't say. But I can say that Arthur Geese is playing Elden Ring, and we're going to go raid Arthur as Arthur plays some Elden Ring. So let's do that. That'll be fun. We'll go hang out with Arthur. Always a good time. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Please come along on this raid with Arthur, playing some Elden Ring and having a good time, or being very frustrated. Who knows? I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you all so much for being here. If you didn't hit the follow button already, please do, so you know when I go live next. I'll be back tomorrow with Electrician Simulator at 9 p.m. Eastern. Playing that game, which I've never touched before, and we'll see how that goes. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye.